ShRrrrRRAAYYYYZZZ. This is hate speech. Sure, I'd like to know what love speech is. This is for my disciple, my girl. Syiere, hey, it's always some female that turns every great man out into the world. Syiere came here and cleaned. She also cleaned the rest of that which had to go out of sight. Thank you, Syiere. Thank you, Syiere. Oh, you gave to me. I love you. Pop. This video is dedicated to the greatest spiritual woman I know on this planet. She couldn't have come to me. She shook me. She did. God used her to lay finishing capstone to me. And I love her in a way I can't explain. It has nothing to do with the flesh. That's all. But anyway, so many people are so ignorant of spiritual things. I'm trying to get this camera right. I was thinking about reading what I wrote. I saw two boxes next to my post. Suddenly said, "Is this hate speech?" But Facebook, I love Facebook. A lot of things about Facebook I like. But I can live without Facebook. I lived before Facebook. I existed before Facebook. And I love Mark Zuckerberg. I love the greater him that I saw. I'm disappointed in this one. I'm just honest enough to admit it. I don't hate Mark Zuckerberg. I always looked up to him. And I've written quite a bit that states that. But what I see being practiced on this machine turns him into Mark Zuckerberg to me, a booger to me. I mean, to me, it becomes hilarious because I saw this great visionary. I saw a man that had created something that could make great social change and spiritual change in this world. And what I see being practiced is just not that. I don't have any hate in my heart toward anyone. I could not exist, not in claim to know what I keep calling God, or what other people call God. I call it Yahweh, Allah, Huya. Allahu, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I call it Yahweh. I call it what my soul says to call it when I have to call it. And sometimes there's nothing to say because I'm overwhelmed by what I call this divine presence. So I saw two check boxes that asked, does video 52 contain hate speech? Is this something I asked? Is this something you have suddenly just on SIAM's page? Or has this magically created suddenly on everybody's page, just like SIAM's page? Suddenly. Like the magician David Copperfield. You are so creative and so very busy. My grandmama cat, Catherine, I called Mama Cat. She raised me, see, till I was about 9. She used to always say to me, Satan is a very busy fellow, very busy fellow. Do you know hymns? French by Google flashes. Does video 52 have hate speech? Do you have pornography you let be sold on this machine? Is this not hate what is clean, moral, and right? Do you not have these pornographic women displaying their nakedness and their open-leg sexual acts in video ads you allow them to sell on your machine? And on their pages in which they show what they do out in the open. In the explicit sex acts shown on this machine. Is this one of your do not break rules that infects our children and weak adults from immoral women selling themselves on this machine that you allow to send me and others friend invites that do not know any of us? Is this hate us and hate our rights not to want this anywhere around us? You ask for suggestions. And when someone steps up to this plate that you ask for suggestions, what do? Then you send new boxes that state or ask, is this hate speech or not? These are our suggestions to you that you ask. And you used to restrict me from sending friend invites to people you said I did not know. So I stopped sending friend invites as I once did. Now, you have never had such a checkbox beside anything I've ever posted before. What is this new checkbox you have now beside each post? No. Video 52 talks about it talks about the love Siam has for everyone and has cosmic music on it that I cannot play. And if you see or hear any hate in my speech, it is you that are full of the hate and the racism you're practicing on Siam and on others on this machine. Does this answer your question, since you read and see everything and know everything and even know what is our favorite fruit? And we know each other quite well then. If I had my tooth in, I could speak much better to you. You ask for I suggest you get me a real one from Chinese shop. You got enough money, give me a dental implant. And ask for suggestions to make your Facebook better. My suggestion, because I love you so much, is that you remove your unjust blocks and restrictions to this black man's clean post and most talented, creative, and original art page, and remove your institutional racism from your Facebook now so it can be real and so much better to the little people that have made you fat and rich, and more institutional racism in living color at the late date of 2018, long after Jews, Christians, whites, blacks, and Dr. King was killed and slain at the Lorraine Hotel for trying to stop this in this nation. My question is, and much love to you, do you hate this that should have been changed way back then? And not we have to deal with this now all over again? Now again on your book with no human compassion, faith for the poor and the have-nots. Do you hate that which holds another down on the ground because he or she is black and greater than you? Just because they have a different colored skin than you, though they are just as qualified or even more so than you? Do you hate fairness and equality shown to your supporters when they have paid for a post, and while that post is running online with you, you still restrict and block their clean posts that break none of your rules from reaching the group that was honored and established in his name? Do you hate this? Do you hate beauty and pure and clean and originality and great awesome spiritual creativity and mystical depth? Do you hate to be real and seen, full of love for all people in this world? Do you hate speech this? And do you hate confronting what you know is wrong that you do? I'm not afraid of you or to any darkness that surrounds me. For to fear the darkness is to say that what we call God is not all light, and all light shatters all darkness. I'm not afraid of you, or to speak in love the truth to you. I walk and speak Yahweh Allahu Yah, and SIAM loves all, all. And this is not hate speech either. This is telling you to stop your hate of black people and people of color on your machine, whose posts break none of your unjust, unfair rules. Much love to you. I am SIAM, and Mr. Mark Zuckerberg owes me and the little people an open letter of apology for how SIAM has been treated on your machine. SIAM hates no one and has no hate speech for anyone. SIAM is saying that love is the greatest force in its omniverse, but that does not mean ignore the evil that surrounds you and become a great escape artist in the name of God and in the name of religion. You do not involve yourself in the liberation, in the peace and justice of your own community, your own family, your own community, your own nation and your own world, your own planetary sphere and your omniverse. For everything that we think, speak, and do affects everything around us. This tape is dedicated, the music is dedicated to the greatest spiritual woman I know. And she's the only woman that could have come near me at this time because my ascension is not complete and I'm unstable still. Great women like ShRrrrRRAAYYYZZZ are always behind great black men and great white men and great men of all colors. There is no great man that is ever produced in this world that does not come from some great woman, some great mother womb has done something to that man's consciousness. I may be shaped to ShRrrrRRAAYYYZZZ, but ShRrrrRRAAYYYZZZ is more than that to me. And I hope this message reaches ShRrrrRRAAYYYZZZ, and I hope my message reaches those that are now creating boxes on the Reign of Grace page. I don't know what's on the other pages asking, is this hate speech or not? Any video I post is not for hate. It is to give people the opportunity to make decisions on their own from their thinking of what they see and they hear. It is not my personal opinion about anything. It is what I present as a teacher of subject matter to people that may be interested in more than just what's on their, little block on the street, but might want to know something else of what other people are thinking. This country was founded on the freedom of speech. They were some great creative founders who established this country on scientific principles of liberty and the pursuit of all happiness. Somebody talked about all men are created equal. If that is the case, all men should be treated equal. And there's nothing about SIAM's posts that deserve any squiggly lines, any restrictions from posts that I send to one group that is named in honor of me. And I shouldn't have to ask my friends to post me. And I shouldn't have to go through any of this when I spent my money in dignity with you, trusting that there would be an increase based on your sales pitch. And then when I spend that money for that post to be increased, not for me personally, but to bring back dividends that I may use to fill up a plane with some dresses, some clothes and some pants and some shoes and some socks and some underwear for some little baby boys and girls that came to see me and asked me for my prayers and sang many songs to me. And I saw that so many of them in Africa have nothing. They have no toys. This is what I wanted to do, not make money for me personally. Oh, I have to eat like you. Somehow, what I call the creator, sometimes, not sometimes, that's not the word, somehow, still takes care of me. So I have no anxiety about what you think or what you may do. I live each day as though it is my last moment. And each second, I strive to live as though it is my last moment on this earth. So I have no fear of people's guns or threats or any of that. And you haven't threatened me. You just keep doing these little sneaky things, you know? Come on out from behind the dark and meet the real people that have made your machine what it is. And maybe that hiding was necessary in the beginning, but it's not now. Not when people like I show up that have the capacity to join you and do something to make this world a better world. And I don't know why I'm looking at the screen instead of at this camera, because I'm not afraid to look another man in the eye. I have looked Satan in his eye. I've never written everything that I experienced inside the Great Pyramid when I was inside that building for 3 hours alone. And I'm not saying the devil appeared to me in the Great Pyramid, so don't take my words out of context. But I saw the meaning of the deepest evil and the meaning of the deepest good while I was 3 hours alone inside that Great Pyramid, and I experienced things that are not of this world. And they left an indelible imprint in me. And so everything has occurred in my life to bring me to the point where I realize I belong solely to nobody but the one who made me. And ShRrrrRAAYYYZZ's coming and cleaning the kitchen and the stove and the many things that she did. She even cleaned the bathroom, and I could never get that thing clean. And she cleaned it. She put her love and her touch all up in this house. And I told ShRrrrRAAYY not to come at this time because I have not yet ascended. I'm in ascension, and I'm unstable atomic mass still. There are times when I'm perfectly stable, and other times when I'm given other states because I'm still passing through states and stations. So I say this to those that do love me and do like me and do pray for me and do wish me well and do kind of understand me and like my singing and all the silly stuff I'll be doing and trying to make them laugh and give them some joy and all this crap that we walking in, this earth's glue. You know, I say to you that I really value you and I appreciate you. And if I'm not on Facebook, it'll be now because they kicked me off. Because see, I was going to close the page. But now, see, and all I wanted to do was post some little Negro poems. That's all I wanted to do. And remain quiet. But you know, you show me signs of something that I've dealt with in the 60s. And I'm saying, man, this is archaic. This is not something that a visionary does. A visionary eliminates all that stuff from the past that hindered people from growing and evolving. You know, he hinders that. He eradicates. I don't care what other people have told him, what his family has told him. That visionary is going to break free of those things and reach out to something in the stars. He's going to reach for something higher than all that stuff that was surrounding him from the family in the past and all that junk from slavery and everything else, from the Holocaust and everything else. He's going to catch a new UFO. And I thought I saw that in you when you appeared on Oprah. That's all I'm saying. And I got contract too. Well, you got all yours, you know, you got the money to do that. That's wonderful for you. I don't care how much money you have. I want to know how much compassion and love and concern you have for people less fortunate than you. And I'm bold enough to say it. You bold enough to do the stuff you're doing in the open, I'm bold enough to address it. And that doesn't mean I hate, because I deal with undressing the dress that you wearing when I know that that dress is not appropriate and certainly not proper and certainly not ethical. And that dress you wearing reminds me of hate. It reminds me of people hiding behind white sheets that were coming after my people late in the night when they were in the bed sleep and burning their house and snatching them out and hanging them up on trees. This is what it reminds me of. Your stuff is reminding me of some hate. I don't know what it reminds other people. So other people are not me. But he only created one me, like he only created one you. And out of 8 billion people on this planet, there will never be another you to make a difference in this world. There will never be another you. Not just like you. Much happiness to all my Facebook friends that I pray for every day. I don't have any hate in my heart. I don't have any enemies. You know, enemies have enemies of themselves. I don't have time for enemies. And if I have any, David said, the Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. Dawood said this. Dawood said this. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. He making me to lie down in green pastures. He restoreth my. He said something about, yea, though I walk through the valley. He didn't say the valley of death. He said the valley of the shadow of death. I shall fear no evil. Muslims believe in all the revealed books. Mantle billahi wa malikatihi wa kutubihi. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil. For thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest the table before me in the presence of mine enemies. He said that. That was a mystic poet of the original Black Hebrew Israelites and of the original Black Israel. I'm not saying something that's hate. I'm saying something that's true. President of Egypt said they all left black. He said they came back all white. I didn't say that. Bless you all. Everyone. I love everyone. Amen. Let me make sure I cut this off this time.